I'm Jennifer Tardy, your career success coach, and we are back for another video. And in this video, we're talking all about how long does it take to hear back from an employer. We have talked about everything related to interview rejection, how to follow up after an interview, but this video right here is answering the question that I get constantly. How long does it take to hear back from an employer? So let's jump right into it with you. I'm also going to be sharing with you my favorite segment, which is the career success bonus tip for underrepresented populations. We don't want to waste any time. Let's get right into it. People, I know, I get it, I hear it all the time. It is driving you bonkers that you have yet to hear back from your interview. I mean, you went into this interview, you brought it. You brought your A game. You had people laughing and nodding in unison, agreeing to what you were saying, and you walked out feeling on top of the world, just knowing that you would get this job. I mean, you knew it, but time has been ticking and you still haven't heard back yet. And so you come to me and you're like, Jennifer, how long is it supposed to take before I hear back? And I laugh when I hear that question. Once I go through this, you'll understand why. And I laugh when I hear that question, and I'll explain to you more as we go through this video. But before we dive into when you'll hear back from an employer, if you haven't checked out the video, why you probably haven't heard back just yet, check it out. Reasons why you probably haven't heard back from your employer just yet. I think that you're going to like that video. Plus the previous episodes that we've done already about, getting feedback and all of that great stuff. That can help your anxiety right now. Okay, so I'm not going to delay this. Let's just take a deep breath and let's get right into it. How long does it take to hear back from an employer? It takes as long as they tell you it's going to take, and probably add on a few more days or weeks on top of it. I try to tell all of my clients that before you leave an interview, please ask the interviewer what the next steps of the process are and when do they think they're going to wind up making their selection decision. Now because that gives you the basis, it gives you the foundation of when you're probably going to hear back from them. So you must ask this question every time, even if it's for your own sanity, because you may be thinking it should only take them 24 hours to hear back. They may say, well, we actually just started the interviewing process, so it may take us about 2 weeks. And now that's 2 weeks that you don't have to sweat the small stuff anymore, and you have some sort of starting point. So that's the answer to when you hear back. It's when they tell you you're going to hear back. Okay. Now, if there is a delay in hearing back, there are a few reasons why there may be a delay in hearing back. Okay. Reason number one, real life happens, my friends. And I mean, I've gotten caught up in this a lot as well too, where I can be interviewing someone and I'll be like, oh, I have got to make this hiring decision like yesterday, and trust and believe that our last interview is in the next 2 days. We're going to make the decision at the end of those 2 days and you will know whether you've gotten the job or not. Bada bing, bada boom. That's it. And you know what happens? Maybe one of my candidates was sick and I really wanted to interview this candidate. And so the only time they can interview was the following week. Maybe at the last minute, my boss comes in with a last major deliverable with a deadline that's in the next 2 days and everything else needs to be on pause. Maybe they're questioning whether or not we can still get this position filled or not. And now I need to wait for that decision before I can move forward in the process. Real life happens, people. And when real life happens, it can delay the process. Now, a great recruiter will get back to you and say, hey, I know that we said that we were going to get back to you at a certain period of time, but some things have happened. It's delayed our timing and we're going to get back to you at this new time. Voila, that is a great recruiter who can give you that heads up. Most of the time, because real life is happening, employers do not get back to candidates as quickly as they probably know that they should. So that is reason number one. And as a side note, this delay in getting back to you happens more frequently than you may believe. It probably happens most of the time. Do not let this delay make you feel any less great than you felt the day that you walked out of there feeling like you knocked it out of the box. Keep that positive vibe, that positive intention, and it's just going to make you feel better. And I'm always going to tell you about the video that I have about how to keep a conversation going after your interview. That's really important for you to know how to keep this conversation going, because if you keep this conversation going, you'll get some deep insights on what's happening in the company at that moment. And so now you don't have to worry about why they're not calling you back yet. Now, reason number 2, why there may be a delay in them getting back to you at the time that they said they were going to get back to you, it's because of behind the scenes stuff. There's a lot that happens behind the scenes that people aren't explaining to you, nor should they really have to, but I'm going to explain to you because I love you and you deserve to know. And I don't want you to be so anxious about these interviews. So a lot of things have to happen behind the scenes, like approvals. So they have to get approvals to get, to still fill this position, approval to hire you, approval on the amount to offer you in particular. And depending on how many people need to approve, depending on if they have a system to get those approvals, it depends on a lot of things. A lot of those things can happen. There may be some documents that need to be sealed up. Like dots that need to be, I's that need to be dotted and T's that need to be crossed in order to move you through the process. Or there's just more paperwork that needs to happen that's slowing down the process. So there's a lot of behind the scenes things that happen. And oftentimes employers underestimate the amount of time that it's going to take, especially if people are just out of the office and they went on vacation and you as the recruiter are thinking, we were supposed to get what we needed for you and we weren't able to. Another reason why there may be a delay after the recruiter or the hiring manager said, this is when you'll hear back from me. Another reason why is because of, kind of the structure of the organization. One of the things that I always tell my clients is that when you're interviewing with a larger, more established organization, it never surprises me that the whole interviewing process takes a lot longer. I can't explain to you why. Maybe it's because there are more people, more hands involved in the process, more approvals that are needed, a longer process in general. But when you go to a lot of these, traditional, long-standing organizations, it just takes a lot longer. Smaller organizations and newer organizations move the process a little bit faster. They don't have a lot of all the steps that you need to take to get a person moved through the process. If you're looking for a job in the tech industry, because job seekers go so fast, when recruiters are recruiting for people in that industry, they move fast as well too, because they want to make sure that they don't lose you as a candidate. And so it's really thinking about the structure of the organization. That could be one of the reasons why the person who is supposed to get back to you has been taking a long time in getting back to you. And with all of these various time frames and various scenarios and various industries, I know that it can be overwhelming when waiting. And that's why it's so hard for me to answer the question. When someone is asking me, oh, how long should it take before I hear back? I have to say it depends. It really depends. And all of these reasons that I just gave you are the reasons why it depends, and that it's so hard for me to answer the question. But what I can tell you is that the best career that I've ever had, it's the type of career that just stretched me, and I'm so thankful that I had the opportunity with this career. It took them 6 months to get back to me with an actual offer. Luckily, I wasn't in a rush, but I wasn't in that much of a rush, but it took them a long time to get back to me. That's another factor as well, too. The higher you are going up in an organization, there's more politics and things like that are involved. There are more people that have to sign off on it, too. And sometimes it just takes more informal conversations before you get to the formal conversations. So think about that as well, too. But I'm interested. What's the longest you've had to wait? for a job that you did get and you did receive that was worth the wait? Tell me in the comment section below. I'd be really curious to hear your story. Now we're at my favorite section. Is the career success bonus tip for underrepresented populations. And in today's tip, I just want to say, if there's been some time that you've been waiting to hear back from an employer, I don't ever want you to assume that your weight has something to do with your disability, something to do with your color, your beliefs, how you talk. I've had clients share with me, and this is the reason why I bring this up. I've had clients share with me their frustrations, having not heard back just yet, and how they think that they're not going to get the job just based on something that that has something to do with their identity. And I don't ever want you to think that, because it just challenges what you may believe about your worth and who you are. Now, there may be some organizations out there who are like that, and they won't give you the job just because of something related to your identity, but those are not the companies you want to work with anyway. But for the most part, when there's a delay, when you haven't heard back just yet, it has a lot to do with things that it has more to do with things happening within the organization than the fact that they're rejecting you for the job. And so if you follow one of the previous videos that I've put out there already about how to follow up after an interview, you can check out that video, and it's going to give you some tools and tips so that you don't have to just sit around and wait for a person to reach out to you. Now, I'm really happy that you hung on and watched throughout the end of this video. I'm really happy that you did that. And as a gift for you, since I know that you're in the interviewing process, if you have not already, be sure to download my free guide. And this free guide is 21 pieces of career advice for underrepresented populations. I think that you are going to find some advice in there, if not all of it, that will truly help you personally as you're going through your own career search. As I always say, if you like this video, click like on the video, subscribe to the channel, click the bell. That's the only way that you're going to be notified. And remember, the only way that we will ever become underrepresented no more is if we do this. Listen, engage, apply, repeat now. If we learn. I am Jennifer Tardy, your career success coach, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.